We're at the end of this interest rate hike. Or are we? Watch this video and we'll see CIBC economists had said at the mortgage convention in Toronto, saying that we're at the end. My name is Andrew, residential commercial realtor here in Calgary, Alberta. Let's go. Like and subscribe to my channel. Provide Calgary and real estate related information, as well as investor information. Like and subscribe. You won't be disappointed. So Benjamin Tall recently spoke at and he's the CIBC chief economist, and he spoke at the mortgage broker conference or mortgage conference out in Toronto last week. And he said that the Bank of Canada is near the end of raising interest rates. But really, the big question is, when will banks start cutting their rates? Financial analysts had predicted they were going to be cutting rates in both Canada and the US since early 2023. But the Bank of Canada hasn't done it yet. And so while rates are pretty high between January and April, or pretty steady, they were hiked up in June and July, and could potentially be hiked up again. Tal said, if the bank doesn't cut the interest rate, it's not going to be pretty. And I say, no shit, Sherlock. It's not going to be pretty for anybody. Tal says that though the rates are higher, there's still plenty of business for mortgage brokers out there in this high rate environment. And I see what he's trying to do. You're at a mortgage broker conference. Your idea is to shed light on the situation, but you don't want to bring doom and gloom. So you want to provide some sort of hope for the people who are in attendance. In downtimes, you got to come in, rally the troops, and say, "Hey, we're near the end. We're near the end of this." And I see his point, and I see what he's trying to do, because you don't want to have this war of attrition where everybody's starting to leave the industry, or do you? But you want to keep people motivated that they're at the end of the tunnel. But really, we're not near the end of the tunnel. If you remember, just a few short years ago, this thing called COVID, countries around the world infused tons or printed tons of money to put back in the economy because there was no businesses were shut down, people weren't working, so they infused that money. But they have to recap that money and regain it, because as countries, every country now, we're in a hole and it has to be repaid. How feasible his prediction of we're at the end or near the end of these rate hikes. If you see, one can no crystal ball, but you can see that the country as a whole has a lot of debt, and the savings or the money that was accumulated during COVID, and just a lot of people's savings in general, have diminished because of the increase in food and in products in general. And some consumers are relying more heavily on credit card debt, which is not a good thing either. So it's going down a It's like a powder keg. It is a powder keg. I know his responsibility to try to rally the troops, and he's talking to mortgage professionals and saying, hey, he's trying to provide some insight. So the mortgage professionals can go back to their clients and leads and say, hey, our economists say that it's going to only be this long. So, if I take the higher rate at this amount of time and then renegotiate or redo your mortgage in a year or two. It's it's an industry that still has to continue, just like myself. It has a trickle-down effect on everyone. Are we near the end? I personally don't think so. What do you think? Comment below. This is Coach Joseph coaching you through the real estate process.